seat you by the fire. Listen, listen.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Steve. So I was looking back through some of my older videos, and I came to the decision that Michael Jordan fans are probably some of the worst fans in the NBA. In history, actually, to be honest. These guys, literally, you cannot say one thing about Michael Jordan negative. If you look at Stephen Curry fans, they agree with some of the negative things about him. He shoots a little too much at sometimes, he gets too cocky at sometimes, and when his shot's not falling, he doesn't really impact the game. At least they admit that. LeBron James, I'm a LeBron fan, but at least I admit, yes, of course, he choked in 2011. Yes, that was one of the worst choke jobs by any superstar in NBA history, possibly the worst choke job by any superstar in NBA history. I'm a Carmelo Anthony fan. Yes, he has not been to the playoffs for 3 years out of a 13-year career. I understand. It's not his fault, but still, that will impact his career in the long run. Dwyane Wade, he didn't really last as long as LeBron and Melo did. You know what I'm saying? And then you have Kobe. He shot too much. He was a bad teammate. These type of fans admit the wrongs and the negatives about their favorite players. But when it comes to Michael Jordan, for some reason, everyone thinks he was perfect at the game of basketball. But the fact is, he was not a great three-point shooter. And another fact is, LeBron James is better than him. But besides that, a few months ago, longer than a few months, around almost half a year ago, I made a video saying 7 players that can beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. It has around 100 dislikes and around 40 likes. Here's the thing. You have people defending Jordan when they've never even looked up his stats, never even looked at the highlights, never really looked at what was going on in the league at the time. They don't look at the fact that there was no competition at his position. They don't look at the fact that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were way out of their prime and pretty much retired by the time he started winning championships. They don't look at the fact that if you compare LeBron's competition in the finals to Jordan's competition, LeBron's competition destroys his. They don't look at the fact that Jordan played in a weaker Eastern Conference than LeBron James did. With the expansion teams, 3 teams winning 20 games and still making the playoffs, they don't look at that. You want to know why? It's like the biased media. Jordan's the best, and that's it. For some reason, in the 90s, people were saying that because obviously he was the best in the 90s. You know? And yes, at that point in time, maybe he was the best player of all time. You know, it can be argued that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were better. In terms of an all-around game, they were better. Larry Bird could do everything, and so could Magic. You know? In terms of that. But for some reason, it's like everyone just says it because everyone says it. You know, it doesn't make sense, but people say it just because everyone says it. I'm the only person, really, the only YouTuber that I know that actually has come out and said Michael Jordan is not the greatest of all time. You want to know why? Because some people are afraid that they're going to get more dislikes than likes. I don't care about the likes and dislikes because I know we're all passionate about basketball. I understand that. You know, so that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when people don't admit when someone's better. Let's go back to that video. 7 players that could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. And I said could. I didn't say they would. I said could. Meaning there's a possibility. People act like Michael Jordan could not lose a one-on-one. Come on now. Could you imagine Michael Jordan going up against LeBron James? 6'8", 250 versus 6'6", 210. Who do you think would win? And he was really 195 pounds. Basketball Reference says that. And that's verified by the NBA. But anyway, 6'8", 250 versus 6'6", 195. And then let's look at both of them in their prime weight. 6'8", 275 versus 6'6", 215. Listen, guys, there's no way in hell Michael Jordan could beat him one-on-one. I'm sorry, but there's no way in hell. in a best of 3 in one game. There's no way. How is someone 60 pounds lighter going to stop LeBron? How is that possible? First of all, in terms of athleticism, yes, Michael Jordan is probably a top 3 athletic player of all time. We all know this. I know he is elite. One of the best to ever do it. Right? But LeBron, he had the athleticism, he had the strength, he had the size, he has all of this that are better than Jordan. And then on top of that, they're pretty much equal scorers. You know, both of them. Michael Jordan had a killer post move, killer low post moves, and LeBron has killer post moves, and LeBron has freakish athleticism around the rim, can finish with any hand. Jordan can finish with any hand. He could take the contact. Both of them can. The difference between LeBron and Jordan is Jordan would be more finesse. He would switch hands or contort his body in the air, look like he's walking in the air, where LeBron would just, okay, Melo too, okay, you want to try and baby me? I'll baby you. You guys ever see Melo go up against someone even if they're bigger and more heavy than him or heavier than him? You know what happens? They usually go flying into the post of the basketball hoop. But anyway, I think, and this is what I said back in the video, and I would love to know I have a lot more subs than I did then. Probably had 100 back then. I would love to know what you guys think about this. I said LeBron James. I said Kobe Bryant. Larry Bird, I'm trying to remember, Paul Pierce, Carmelo Anthony, and Tracy McGrady. I said those 7 players could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. And I think I said D Wade should be on this list as well. But that's around 7 or 8 players. What do you guys think about that, honestly? Do you think, D Wade, Melo, LeBron, T-Mac, Kobe, Paul, Larry, do you think they could beat Jordan one-on-one? I think they could. I mean, obviously, I'm not sitting here saying Jordan wouldn't win. Obviously he's going to get some wins. But at the same time, it's not like he can go flawless against them. So there's this whole notion that no one's better than Jordan. No one will ever touch him. No one can ever. Come on, man. In terms of one-on-one ability, Kobe and Melo are the best ever in terms of one-on-one ability because they could do everything. They can shoot the 3. They can take you off the dribble. They can post you up, size you up, face up to the basket, turn over right shoulder, turn over left shoulder, pull up from 30. They could do everything. So in terms of that, those 2 are the best offensive one-on-one players in NBA history. Just in terms of that. And then I also said, I said Kevin Durant as well. So, I don't know. I'm probably adding players, but that's what I think. Kevin Durant as well. Do you really think, and I put Kevin Durant in that video, I remember. But do you really think that Michael Jordan could beat Kevin Durant one-on-one? Come on, man. I'm sorry, but the chances of that happening are slim. Just think about it. Kevin Durant is 6'9". Actually, he's 6'11". He's taller than DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. We saw that at the Olympics, man. And Draymond Green. He's taller than them. And those dudes are close to 7 feet tall. His wingspan is 7'3". Come on. I mean, in terms of that, there's no way in hell Michael Jordan could beat Kevin Durant. If he did, that would be one of the best games ever. And if anyone could, it would be him. We all know this. His heart and whatever. But still, I don't know, man. I guess I just see things differently than most people. But I don't see Jordan being able to beat Kevin Durant one-on-one. Or him being able to beat Carmelo. Or Kobe. Or LeBron. Or Bird. Or T-Mac. Or D Wade. You know what I mean? I don't see it happening. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. That's just the truth. It's just the way it is. And it sucks that more people don't realize it. But at the end of the day, man, someone has to say it. So why not? Why can't I say it? I know there's gonna be a whole bunch of hate on this video and people cursing me out. That doesn't bother me, man. What bothers me is that people can't be honest. People are too scared to speak up. I'm not gonna say any names, but I was watching a bigger basketball YouTuber that he used to be a 2K YouTuber. He had like 30,000 subs. He made one, what if video. It blew up, and then he changed all his content to that, right? I'm not gonna say his name. And pretty much he was talking about like the best players ever, right? And he was like, LeBron is one of the best players ever, but I don't know if I can say he is right now because Jordan is 6 for 6. And I'm just like, and he said a lot more stuff, and I'm just like, what are you talking about, man? What does, first of all, what does going 6 for 6 have to do with anything? I don't understand it. I don't. What I understand, okay, yeah, the best player on the best team winning 6 straight championships, not 6 straight, but 3-peating twice, 6 for 6, never losing. I get that. That's great. But if he was as good as you say he was, and he was the main reason why they won, like you said he was, and the reason why the Bulls won was 80% because of Jordan. If that's true, why did they still only win 2 less games the year after Jordan retired? Why? The single season after Jordan retired, after that 3rd ring, they only lost 2 less games. Well, 2 more games. They only won 2 less games. And I think they went to either semifinals or Eastern Conference Finals. That doesn't make sense to me. And then people penalize LeBron for being able to bring his team farther with less help. Do you see the help that LeBron had throughout his career? Compare that to the teams that Michael Jordan had with Pippen, Rodman, Oakley, Kerr. The list can go on. It's not even close. Put LeBron on that Bulls team, and he would have done the exact same thing Jordan did. They would have won 6 for 6. Heck, if you would have put Carmelo Anthony on that team, they would have won 6 for 6. If you would have put Dwyane Wade on that team, they would have won 6 for 6. If you would have put Kobe Bryant on that team, they would have won 6 for 6. Kevin Durant, they would have won 6 for 6. You need one superstar with those freaking elite players. You guys don't understand that Scottie Pippen is also one of the greatest players ever. And they were both in their prime when they played together. Could you imagine LeBron with Wade and Bosh in their prime around 2006? If they would have teamed up in 2006, they would have went 4 for 4. So this whole notion about 6 for 6, that's nonsense to me. It's absolute malarkey. I heard Dashy use that word, and it was funny because he's like a comedian. But, it doesn't make sense, man. This whole 6 for 6 argument is ridiculous. This is the travesty of what's going on right now with basketball. People are too afraid to admit that someone is better than their idol. That's cool. I understand. I'm like that too sometimes. It's hard for me to admit that new players are better than Carmelo now. It was hard. It took me a long time to sit there and say, you know what? Maybe Stephen Curry, Westbrook, and Harden are better. It took me a long time just to say those 3 players. Could you imagine looking up to someone for 20 plus years, and then you have someone like LeBron come around and just demolish the league? I mean, it's crazy. And then you have the nonsense that goes on that Jordan was a better shooter than LeBron. This one, it's nonsense, but it's also arguable. It's not a definitive, okay, Jordan's definitely better, or okay, LeBron's definitely a better shooter. It's arguable. Jordan was a better mid-range shooter. LeBron was a better three-point shooter. And if you don't believe me, they actually brought the three-point line closer, and that's when Jordan's, shot percentage went up from 3. But Jordan was also a better free throw shooter. So in terms of that, you know what I mean? So it's debatable, but it's kind of leading towards Jordan. Right? So it's nonsense in the fact that people say, oh, this is not even a question. Jordan was 20 times better. No. He was probably a better shooter, but not 20 times better, acting like he was, an elite shooter like Curry. People literally sit there and act like Michael Jordan was, a Steph Curry or like a Reggie Miller, Ray Allen type shooter. It's like, stop hyping him up. Yes, he's he's top freaking 3 ever. Yes, he is. But you can't sit there. You cannot sit there and say every single aspect of his game was elite. If you look at the competition he had to go through and you compare that to LeBron, I understand in his early years he had the bad boy Pistons, the Boston Celtics. And yes, they played a lot in the playoffs, and that's why he got first rounded a lot. I understand that. I'm not denying that. What I'm denying is the fact that he could take any team and win a championship with them. Because if that's true, and if he is the greatest player ever, like everyone says he is, listen to this double standard. Everyone says he's the greatest player ever. He's 6 for 6. This is what they say. The 6 for 6 part is true. But they say he's the greatest player ever. He's 6 for 6 in the finals. Okay. So if the greatest player ever, who never lost in the NBA Finals, is so good, how come he could not lead his team? It didn't even have to be 3 times, at least once, to the NBA Finals without an elite team around him. Why is that? Why is that the case? Whereas in LeBron's case, let's listen to that double standard. Whereas in LeBron's case, LeBron in 2007 not only led the Cleveland Cavaliers to the NBA Finals, of course he got swept. We all knew that was going to happen. I'm not asking Jordan to win an NBA championship with no help, but at least take your team far without help. I don't even think he's been to the NBA, not the NBA Finals, the conference finals without Scottie Pippen. I may be wrong about that. Don't hold that against me. I may be wrong. But I don't even think he has. Whereas in LeBron's case, LeBron led his team in 2007 with Daniel Boobie Gibson, Donyell Marshall, Zydrunas Ilgauskas out of his prime. Anderson Varejao was a good role player. I believe that was the year after Zydrunas injured his foot and then he was never the same again. Who else did they have? Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes. With that team, he had one of the best performances in playoff history. 25 points. The last 25 points for the Cavaliers. So when you look at that, and then you compare to what Jordan did, it's like, why are they holding that against LeBron? He was so good that he could lead his team to the finals with no help. He wasn't good enough to beat the elite teams in the finals with no help, but he was so good that he was able to lead his team to the finals. And then people bring up this. 2011. Yes, I understand 2011, LeBron James. That was an absolute choke job. That was one of the biggest chokes in NBA history. I understand that, by a superstar. What did he have, like 4 fourth quarters with 8 points or less? Something crazy like that. He averaged like 17, 7, and 6 terrible points. You know what I mean? So yeah, he choked in the NBA Finals. But I'm pretty sure that's the only time in his career where he really choked in the playoffs. Whereas Michael Jordan choked in the finals before too. He may not have lost because his team was so good, but let's not forget what happened. I don't remember if it was 91 or 92. But let's not forget what happened with Magic Johnson. Let's not forget about that. Michael Jordan tried to guard Magic Johnson. He was getting absolutely pummeled, embarrassed. And what did Phil Jackson do? I don't know if it's Phil Jackson, but I'm pretty sure he won all 6 with Jordan. But what did I may be wrong. It may not have been Phil Jackson as the coach, but I'm pretty sure he won all 6 with Jordan. What did Phil Jackson do? They put Scottie Pippen. And people sit there and act like Michael Jordan's one of the best defenders ever. If he's one of the best defenders ever, how come he had problems guarding Magic Johnson? Do you think LeBron James would have had problems guarding Magic Johnson? LeBron James literally can guard all 5 positions. So you're saying Michael Jordan can't guard someone that's 3 inches taller than him? That's not even close to his athletic ability? Michael Jordan should have absolutely... Excuse me, I'm not being disrespectful to any one of them, but Michael Jordan should have absolutely shit on him on defense. This was post-prime Magic Johnson. Post-prime Magic Johnson. But yet, for some reason, Michael Jordan couldn't get the job done defending him. I think it was in Game 1. And Scottie Pippen had to go on him. No one brings that up. That's a choke. That you had to switch. When did LeBron ever have to switch off someone because he was getting embarrassed? Last time I checked, every time LeBron goes up against Melo, LeBron freaking, he does his thing. Against Kevin Durant, LeBron doesn't say, yo, switch, I'm getting destroyed. I've never seen once in NBA history LeBron James get embarrassed by someone. Yeah, he went back and forth. The person that really gave LeBron the most trouble ever is Paul Pierce. Yes, Paul Pierce has given LeBron more trouble than any other NBA superstar, and he's so underrated because that dude was freaking elite. He used to drop 40 on LeBron like it's nothing. But don't sit there and act like LeBron wasn't holding his own. And LeBron didn't say, hey, yo, switch with me. I can't. Come on, man. This whole travesty that, no one can ever be better than Jordan. Guys, there's already someone better than Jordan. And that guy's name is LeBron James. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. LeBron James is the best basketball player in NBA history. And of course, there'll probably be someone soon, 10 years from now who's better. That's just the way it is. You can't be the king forever. But you can be the face of the league forever. And Michael Jordan will forever be one of the faces of the league. Same with Magic and Bird and Wilt and Bill and the 03 draft and Kobe and Timmy. And, there's certain players that'll always be the face of the league. So in terms of that, I would just like to say this. LeBron James is the best basketball player ever. Michael Jordan is either, in my opinion, I always change my opinion, number 2 or number 3. The reason why I say that is because Larry Bird and Magic Johnson are both elite players. They are both elite players. And that's a fact. They could do everything. They could pretty much do everything. So that's my thought. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been Steve.